Well, hello, vinyl community people. It's Mike MGK Boston back on a Monday, a holiday Monday. Just returned from the town center here in my town. Went to a Memorial Day service. It was very nice, well put together. Attendance could have been better, but I was there, so glad I went. Anyway, and then I come back looking at my phone. Geez, out of the blue. Hard to believe it, but there's another thread from Chris Propfe. So yes, if there were kings in the vinyl community, well, there are kings. You got the king of box sets over in Chicago, Steve at All the World's a Stage. You got Ben Rankin's king of shirts. And so now I'm hereby crowning Chris Propfe, KOT. It's king of threads. All right. So anyway, yeah, we got King Colton here. So anyway, Chris has come up with yet another thread. It's called I Don't Need You, artist that went solo. Doesn't have to be an artist that was, the best solo career ever, but just they had a solo career, right? So 5. So that's my Chris Propfe imitation. So anyway, yeah, pretty easy one. So I thought I'd jump on this one. So what do we got here? We have Peter Murphy, of course, formerly of Bauhaus. This is his solo debut, Should the World Fail to Fall Apart, in 1986. So David J., Daniel Ash, and Kevin Haskins, his old friends, they formed Love and Rockets, and he's like, I don't need you, I'm doing my own thing. Solo right here. So this was the debut, again from 1986, Should the World Fail to Fall Apart. Good title track on that one too. Don't have the second one, but then the third one here from 1990. Of course, this is called Deep, and it's almost David Bowie-esque at points here. I mean, the big single from this one, a song called Cuts You Up. But another one I really like on here, it's a slow song called Marlene Dietrich's Favorite Poem. Yeah, Embryonic Brian just mentioned Peter Murphy. I think it might have been in his terrible album covers. So many videos I can't keep track. But anyway, yeah, I know Embryonic. He's a fan. So anyway, speaking of fans, I'm a big fan of this guy. He was in Roxy Music. Now, this is a solo career that ran concurrently throughout the 1970s. Well, still to this date. Roxy Music officially disbanded after the Avalon album in 1980-81. Arguably their best album, in my opinion. Love it. And this is a 12-inch single from this movie Legend. I think Tom Cruise is in this movie. Is Your Love Strong Enough? 12-inch single right there. And then on the B side, interesting instrumental version of Windswept. Yes. All right, what do we got here? An older solo album, Let's Stick Together. This one with special guest. There's Chris Spedding playing guitar on this one. Price of Love. He did so many cover versions. Brian Ferry did. Colton's back here tearing something apart. Excuse me, Colton. Yeah, I don't want you back there. Lunatic. All right, technical difficulties. All right, where the hell am I? Yeah, we just said that. Let's stick together, Colton. All right. Another time, another place. Yes, this looks like an very low attendance pool party, but probably due to the dress code. Who goes to a formal pool party? No Speedo for Brian. It's formal wear only. I was not invited to that party. Arguably, I probably wouldn't have went to that party. It's only 3 people, right? This lonely woman over here looking for a date. Maybe that'll be Brian. So anyway, again, speaking of covers, Smoke It's in Your Eyes. What a Wonderful World. It Ain't Me, Babe. The Bob Dylan tune, of course, Help Me Make It Through the Night by Chris Christopherson, and that's Brian Ferry. Another Time, Another Place in 1974. Moving on into the 80s, Boys and Girls. This is from 1985. Same year he performed at the Live Aid Festival. He played, of course, at the Wembley Arena in London, not in Philadelphia. And he showcased, 3 or 4 tracks from this album, Boys and Girls. Really, really great solo album by Brian Ferry. And followed up by this, not quite as good, but still a really good album called Bête Noire. I saw this tour summer of 1988 at the former Lansdowne Park in Ottawa, Ontario. Really excellent concert. For my friends in Canada, the opening act was this chick, I think she was from Quebec, Luba, and she kind of sounded like 80s Heart. Really good. What was the song she had? Every Time I See Your Picture was this tune she had, and that still gets played on Canadian FM radio. It was Luba opening for that. How I remember that just now, I don't know. But anyway, it's Bête Noire. Yeah. One more solo from the man right here. It's The Bride Stripped Bare. So always with the supermodels, hanging with the supermodels on the cover. On the inside, looks shocked. Oh my God, I'm on a Brian Ferry album. Whatever. All right. Probably know this guy, Peter Gabriel. It's his self-titled debut. His first 3 albums were just called Peter Gabriel. And there's that. I don't have the second one, but then I think they call this one Face Melt. This one, I don't remember, was a good tune on this one. Of course, Games Without Frontiers is a classic rock FM staple. And followed up with Security right here. Rhythm of the Heat. Shock the Monkey was a huge single on this one. Lay Your Hands on Me was one he loved to do that one in concert, and he'd kind of fall into the crowd and do that. I saw him 3 times. First time was on this tour for the So Tour. Second time was on this tour, Us. This was, I saw him, summer in 1893, I believe, at the old Sky Dome in Toronto. I think that's where the Blue Jays play. Saw him there. And then here's like a promo EP here. Here Comes the Flood from his solo debut. Then this cool duet he does here called Shaking the Tree with You So Endure. That's a really cool tune. And then there's a 1980, there's a remix of I Have the Touch right here. So I don't know, I must have got that used somewhere along the way. Soundtrack here for Last Temptation of Christ, a film by Martin Scorsese. Really cool Peter Gabriel stuff there, and it's all associated with, he was on Geffen. Thought this would be the Real World label, but it's not. And then, incoming, mentioned Steve at All the World's a Stage earlier. I was watching the live stream he was doing with David Atkinson and French Vinyl Addict and the aforementioned King of Shirts, Ben Rankins. They were talking about the pressings on this. So, of course, as I said, King of Box Sets, Steve, he bought this record, but then he decided a few months later it was time for the deluxe box set. And I was the lucky recipient of this latest record by Peter Gabriel. 21 years since he came to come up with this, but it was worth the wait. It's great. I just gave this another listen yesterday. Let's see on the gatefold on the inside. So what they were talking about, I remember it was David Atkinson brought this up. There's different mixes of this, and this is the dark side mix here. So anyway, don't know the significance of that. My ears are not that great anymore. I have a nice system, but I can't pick stuff like that apart. But anyway, I'm going to go with it. I've got the dark side mix, courtesy of Steve at All the World's a Stage. All right, and who else we have here? Yeah, Don Henley, of course, from the Eagles, right? And he said, "I don't need you. I'm going to do Don Henley stuff." Well, yeah. I mean, if you ever want to, Don Henley records are always easy to find in the mix because it's got his giant head on the cover of every single album. I'm pretty sure of that. What an egomaniac. Anyway, Dirty Laundry, Boys of Summer, All She Wants to Do Is Dance. You know, this is just a collection of his hits, like it says right there, and it's Actual Miles, Henley Greatest Hits. That's all I need from Don. I just need the hits. And then lastly, we've got David Gilmour, of course, from Pink Floyd. You could argue that after Roger Waters left, that a lot of the Pink Floyd material was David Gilmour solo with a sideman. Just the way it sounds and the songwriting shifted to David Gilmour's style. I really like it. Like Momentary Lapse of Reason, one of my favorite Pink Floyd albums, and it's David Gilmour. So yeah, big song from this one. There's No Way Out of Here. You hear that once in a while on Classic Rock FM. So yeah, there's 5 solo artists, right? I don't need you. I'm going solo. All right, Colton. So anyway, that's going to do it for this entry. Well, it's not an entry. It's just a thread response to the King of Threads. All hail the King of Threads, Chris Propfe, Musically Obsessed. So anyway, I'll leave a link in the description to Chris's initial launch for the thread. You can go over there and check it out, subscribe to his channel, leave him a nice comment. Do whatever you're going to do on a Monday, and I'll just see you in the next video.